and when it occurs, we will bring it to you. That is an address, as I say, to the British. There has been no more steadfast ally for President Bush than Tony Blair, the British Prime Minister, who suffered a very difficult debate in his Parliament when this issue came up, but the Parliament gave him the support, endorsed his position, endorsed a war against Iraq, and indeed, when Tony Blair addresses the British people, we will bring that to you. And once again, just a brief review of the situation. When last we left Kuwait City, there were sirens sounding there, and ABC's Mike Van Friend was heading for the bunker, which is down below the building in which he's operated. There have been air attacks over Baghdad during the night, cruise missiles launched from 5 different ships, and there has also been heavy air activity over southern Iraq, and there are U.S. Marines now in Iraq moving, we understand, toward Basra. Should mention once again, this is ABC News, continuing live coverage of the war with Iraq. All right, we are standing by, as I said, waiting for the British broadcast of Tony Blair's pre-recorded address to the people in Great Britain. And if I correctly know my time zones, it should be 10 p.m. In Great Britain, and this to be broadcast, therefore, late on Thursday evening to the British people. In the meantime, while we wait for that broadcast to come up, do I have Kathy Kelly still in Baghdad? Kathy Kelly?
Hello, Charlie.
This is Charlie Gibson in New York. Can you hear me?
Hi, Charlie. Yes, I can hear you.
Kathy Kelly is with a group called Voices in Wilderness. It is an anti-war group, and she is... I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you, Kathy. We'll come back to you later. Here is Tony Blair addressing the British people.
Tonight, British servicemen and women are engaged from air, land and sea. Their mission? To remove Saddam Hussein from power and disarm Iraq of its weapons of mass destruction. I know this course of action has produced deep divisions of opinion in our country. But I know also the British people will now be united in sending our armed forces our thoughts and prayers. They are the finest in the world, and their families and all of Britain can have great pride in them. The threat to Britain today is not that of my father's generation. War between the big powers is unlikely, Europe is at peace, the Cold War already a memory. But this new world faces a new threat of disorder and chaos, born either of brutal states like Iraq, armed with weapons of mass destruction, or of extreme terrorist groups. Both hate our way of life, our freedom, our democracy. My fear, deeply held, based in part on the intelligence that I see, is that these threats come together and deliver catastrophe to our country and our world. These tyrannical states do not care for the sanctity of human life. The terrorists delight in destroying it. Some say if we act, we become a target. The truth is, all nations are targets. Bali was never in the front line of action against terrorism. America didn't attack Al-Qaeda. They attacked America. Britain has never been a nation to hide at the back. But even if we were, it wouldn't avail us. Should terrorists obtain these weapons, now being manufactured and traded around the world, the carnage they could inflict to our economies, our security, to world peace, would be beyond our most vivid imagination. My judgment as Prime Minister is that this threat is real, growing, and of an entirely different nature to any conventional threat to our security that Britain has faced before. For 12 years, the world tried to disarm Saddam after his wars in which hundreds of thousands died. UN weapons inspectors say vast amounts of chemical and biological poisons such as anthrax, VX nerve agent and mustard gas remain unaccounted for in Iraq. So our choice is clear. Back down and leave Saddam hugely strengthened, or proceed to disarm him by force. Retreat might give us a moment of respite, but years of repentance at our weakness would, I believe, follow. It is true Saddam is not the only threat, but it is true also, as we British know, that the best way to deal with future threats peacefully is to deal with present threats with resolve. Removing Saddam will be a blessing to the Iraqi people. 4 million Iraqis are in exile, 60% of the population dependent on food aid. Thousands of children die every year through malnutrition and disease. Hundreds of thousands have been driven from their homes